Hey guys, welcome back. This video is for day 3 to day 7 in science. Day 1 and day 2, we talked about weathering and erosion. And day 3, we'll go ahead and start with it. What you are doing is you're going to learn how to prevent erosion. You guys are a step ahead because we've already done this in class. We did this, we got into groups and we put you into 5 different groups because there's 5 different ways that you can prevent erosion, and then you presented on what each one does and how does it prevent erosion. You can also, if you have YouTube, you can watch the man, how he did the experiment. He had 3 types of soil. Remember, he had the 3 different bottles, and on one, he grew just dirt. And on the second one, I think he had a bunch of crops that were kind of old and they were just sitting on the dirt or the soil. And on the last one, he had lots of grass, lots of plants, lots of vegetation. And then as he poured the water, it dripped, remember, in the containers, and then we saw how dirty the water was. And I'm not going to tell you which one was the best because I think you guys remember. Remember, it soaks up all the water and there's no washing, there's no erosion because all those roots soak it up. And I know you know which one it is. So what you're going to do is I want you to reread this. Remember, there are 5 ways to prevent erosion. Remember, planting vegetation as ground cover, applying mulch, matting the soil, contour farming and terracing, and then creation of windbreakers. So you're going to answer these 9, 10, looks like 15 questions. You're already a step ahead, and we've already presented these in groups, so you can go ahead and do that. And then on day 4, we're going to introduce you to a new topic, which is the layers of soil. Now, I have this poster up here to kind of introduce it to you. When we talk about the layers of the soil, each layer, you can call it a horizon, or you can say the profile of the soil. If you've ever looked like at the sun early in the morning or when you're going to bed, you can see the horizon where the sky meets the sun. That's kind of like soil. So they're different layers. So the horizons are the layers. And you're going to read about each one. At the top, this one doesn't have it, but you're going to have a bunch of humus, which is your organic material. You're going to have plants. You're going to have vegetation. You may have needle leaves, moss, and other living material. After that, you're going to have the darkest layer, which is topsoil. And there's a little worm there. Topsoil reminds me of when we go fishing and we dig lots of worms. This is where you're going to find your worms. They're decomposers, remember? They eat trash and they break down everything. This is the thinnest. It's the most richest layer because it's darker in color. So the darker it is, remember, it's more rich. These are where most of your nutrients are going to be found for your plants. The next one is going to be your subsoil, and that's underneath the topsoil. This is made up of the 3 types of soil, which you're going to learn about in the next couple days. This is made up of sand, silt, and clay, and it hasn't been broken down all the way through weathering yet. That comes next. So the parent material is your next layer, and that's mostly rock that has been weathered down. Now, you can break those rocks up. You can still get to this point, but the lowest one is your bedrock. Now, bedrock is just a slab of rock. When you hit that, like when we were building our house, we got so far and couldn't dig any deeper because we hit bedrock. So we had to use dynamite to kind of bust it up. And think about where the Flintstones live. They live in bedrock and they don't have anything but rock. And remember, they discovered concrete. So that's how you can remember bedrock. That's on the bottom where the Flintstones live. So that's the layers of the soil. And what you're going to do for this one is you're going to read about each one. And then let me pull it up for you. You're going to read about each layer or horizon, and then you're going to color code it and label. So which horizon or layer of soil is right here in these boxes, and then you're going to color it. What you're going to do next is you're going to learn about each type of soil, and I have a poster to help you guys out with this. There are 3 types of soil. There's sand, silt, and clay. And this poster can help you. And up here, you can see they go from large to small. Now, this is a pebble, which is a rock. And that's kind of in comparison to the 3 types over here. So sand is going to be your biggest one. Then silt, and then clay is going to be your smallest one. Now, if you put all those together, it makes loam. Loam is a mixture of sand, silt, and clay, and it's the best type for growing plants. So remember that. It breaks up easily too. Sand is going to be your largest particle. It can be different colors. It feels rough. If you've ever gone to the beach or like Green River and went swimming, if you get it in your mouth, it's gritty, it's nasty, it's hard to chew. It feels rough, and water passes through it easily. Think of when you're building a sandcastle, and when the water comes up, what happens to it? It's gone. The next one is silt. Silt is larger than clay, but it's smaller than the sand, so it's in the middle. It feels smooth, and it holds little water, and rivers carry it easily. Clay is the last one. It's the smallest one. It feels sticky and smooth. You're going to use that when you're like in art class and you do sculptures. You may use clay. It feels sticky and smooth. It can be reddish or brown in color, and it's hard for water to pass through. So think about when Miss Paolina, when she like fires it into her machine and then it comes out, you can use that and even put water in it because it'll hold it, because it's so small it packs together. So those are the 3 types of soil, and here are some more kind of charts, smaller charts to help you with this. And then you're going to answer these 6 questions about each type of soil. And then you have an optional activity here that you can do. And you're going to answer the question, what do you think you will find if you dig in the soil? So if you have those things at home and if you want to do it, go ahead. I'd like for you to. It's kind of cool to get outside and do some hands-on things too. The next one, what you can do is you can watch Science Court soil video on YouTube. Those are my favorite videos. Science Court is really good. They're going to ask you a question and you come up with a claim. Remember, what did you learn? How can you prove it? And then you're going to answer the soil worksheet, and you're going to read about that text. And remember, I would read the questions first, and then go back and find your passage proof. Look for your bolded words. And then you answer these 8 questions. And then on day 6, you are going to learn about tectonic plates. Now remember, this is kind of a review too. You can also do a Generation Genius with this on tectonic plates. And then there's also a brain pop. Remember how we talked about when the Earth, we had one big continent and slowly they drifted, like the continental drift? You're going to see that on Ice Age, or if you ever do the continental drift go noodle, if you walk it out like Granny, if you know what I'm talking about. The continents were together and slowly over time they drifted apart. But if you put them back together right now, they can all fit into that one big continent called Pangaea. Now, where they were connected, how they were together, we have fault lines. Now, you're going to read about how each of these plates move, and you're going to see a pattern. Remember how we talked about earthquakes and volcanoes? You're most likely going to see those, remember, on the fault lines, how we talked about those. And remember, we did those, the 3 earthquakes where they can push up, or they can build up, or they can pull apart. You're going to find out how or what each one is called. There's divergent, there's subduction, and there's lateral slipping. So you're going to read about each one of those. And then on the back of that paper, I'll show you, you are going to color code. There's a map of the globe, and you're going to find each fault line, and you're going to color code where you find each one. So like the Southeast Indian Ridge, you're going to color that blue, okay? So look at all of these fault lines where they meet, okay? It's like a puzzle piece if you look at it. Look right here. This looks just like Africa right here, and you'll see it more when you see it on your paper. The next one's kind of cool. It's actually, let me go back up. Remember, we tried to do this in the classroom, but it wouldn't let us. How we tried to design the earthquake proof bridge. You're actually going to do that on the internet and play that game. So that's really, really cool. But if you don't, obviously you have internet if you are watching this video, but you're going to draw. What do you think a bridge would look like that could withstand the force or shaking of an earthquake? So think about if you had to cross from Louisville to Indiana. Remember how you got to cross that big old bridge, or even in Bardstown? Like, we have bridges too. So what if an earthquake happened? How would you build that earthquake-proof bridge to withstand an earthquake? So you draw it, you think about it, and then you draw it, and then you can play the game. So this was science, day 3 through 7. If you have any questions, you guys let me know, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.